Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. Check out the hockeybettingpodcast.ca. We got a number of books that have joined up with us and have incredible sign-up offers for you to play hockey with that first deposit. Get on board. Go to the hockeybettingpodcast.ca. Fire away with us. Have some fun. Let's make some dough.
You're listening to the Hockey Betting Podcast featuring Brian Blessing as host with Cam Stewart in Toronto. This is the Hockey Betting Preview for Monday, February 11th, 2021. And now live from Las Vegas, your host of the Hockey Betting Podcast, Brian Blessing.
All right, folks, here we go. We're racing towards the weekend. The Hockey Betting Podcast, Brian Blessing in Las Vegas, Cam Stewart's in Mississauga. Polar vortex, is that happening up there?
It's cold, brr, brr. But I've lived in Yellowknife before and seen urine crystallize before it hits the ground. So this is nothing for me, Brian. Basically a polar bear. It's a minus 10, minus 15. Who cares?
Well, all those years living in Buffalo, I mean, I know what the jet stream is, right? You're sitting here, you're looking, you're like, where's the jet stream? Am I above it or below it? And
Exactly.
What does that mean? And well, your polar vortex is a win for me because I'm actually west of the jet stream because of the polar vortex. It's been in the 70s here. So thanks, buddy.
Yep, no problem, pal. Yeah, it's just I love seeing you like Obi-Wan Kenobi out in your porch.
I am right now. I got layers
hacking
on.
a Marlboro going,
layers.
It's very cold in Summerlin and Vegas today. I'm like, yeah, sure. Okay, Brian.
I'm such a baby.
You are. When you were in Buffalo, you were tough. Now you're just so
no, it happens. I talk such a good game.
Even Lisa said you're soft. She just said Brian's soft. We used to know back in Buffalo, Brian, you were just a curmudgeon, just hacking, fighting through those snowstorms in Tonawanda, Lackawanna, Cheektowaga, whatever, the South towns.
I'm Charmin soft.
You are Charmin.
By the way,
yes,
it was one of the highlights of my year. I don't know if you remember that last year sucked.
Yeah, it did. This year's not really good. It's sucking pretty good, too.
The other night, sitting at the game, God bless, man. I thought he might do it in the opening games that were played here. The goofball game the other night where Nosek gets pulled out of the game and, more COVID news. I'm sick of COVID news. But
so am I.
In the middle of the game, Nick Delorier, trying to get the Ducks going, whatever, steps up and dances with Ryan Reeves. God bless that kid. I mean, Ryan Reeves is a monster, know, and that fight was a draw or a slight decision, and I lean slight decision to Delorier. And the coolest thing, you don't see this stuff on TV. It was towards the end of a period, so they come back out and they go in the box to serve the five, and it's the first stoppage of play or whatever, and I'm sure they went to commercial break or whatever. But when they both got out of the box, during the stoppage of play, both benches, they're banging the boards, banging the ice for both of these guys. Both teams were doing it for them coming back to the benches. I mean, and it was a good old fashioned. It was a good one.
No, that's what I like about hockey. You know what I mean?
God bless those
people
guys.
People are like, I'll take fighting out of the game and whatever. What about UFC fighters and stuff? At the end, after a guy pummels you, if you're still awake, you give him a hug, you tap the gloves and say, that this is our job. And that's what these guys do. And the fact that Delorier, wants to fight Reeves, look what happened in that game. Vegas was murdering these guys, and then they come
roaring back.
That's what I'm saying. It's happened all year with the Leafs. They've never had it. Do you know why the Leafs are doing well? Not just because they're shooting the puck. It's because when Wayne Simmons was there, every time they were down in a game, he'd pick a fight with the toughest guy on their team and he'd fire these guys up. It's an intangible that people don't think about a lot, but that's the thing. When you're lackadaisical, especially in the COVID era, what's going to inspire you? There's no fans, there's no nothing. You need a spark, and punching a guy in the face is probably a good way to spark things. It seems to be working for a lot of teams.
I think
more teams should do it.
It's got to heat up, Cam. But unless you've been to one of these games, it's so hard to explain.
It's surreal, right?
Well, it's annoying as hell. You're sitting there and they're pumping, fake
music,
crowd noise in. No, and then they're doing the jumbotron. Honestly, I'm sitting there with our buddy Steve Karp from Gaming Today the whole game, and it got to the point, he kept talking to me, saying stuff, and he's wearing a mask, right? And like, I must have said what to him about 9 times. Finally, you'd be proud. I just got to the point. He'd talk, I just nod. I gave up. But there's no energy in the building. And if you think about these games, the third and fourth line guys, does this make sense? Generally speaking, third and fourth line guys are energy guys, or, the third line may be going against the other team's best line as for defensive purposes. But the energy guys across the board, these guys feed off the crowd. So there's no crowd there. So a lot of nights it's not pond hockey, but the energy's not there. And it's just really hard for these guys to completely, over the course of 60 minutes, generate their own buzz.
Exactly. No, it's tough. And it's really weird. Like, some teams have thrived in it. Like, I've never seen the Leafs play this good before. It's almost good for them because the fans, when you're in certain markets too, the fans can really get down on you. And the best of days, the only people that can afford tickets are the sushi eating Bay Street bootlickers, right? And they're hanging out in the Platinums having drinks. They don't even. So you're looking at going, wow, it's empty like COVID anyway. Now they're playing better. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a weird vibe. But let's get into the games, buddy. And I think there's a few angles we could attack here.
Yeah. By the way, just quick recap. Listen, you come up short or whatever, but your reads are right. Like that Anaheim game, Anaheim by a mile was the better team in that game the other day, I thought, and Vegas just found a way to win.
They always do.
Miller played. He had 3 great glove saves. He let in a goal he should catch with his teeth, But Anaheim was deserving. And when we said that price was way too high. Yeah. Last night, we thought the Rangers at a plus price were a really good play. They've got the lead. They give up a shorthanded goal, and then you lose a heartbreaker in overtime. Even when you lose those, Cam, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. But even in the losses, when you're sitting there going, close sucks, right? Forget the hand grenade analogy. But I thought the Rangers deserved the win last night. They didn't get it.
And look at the Leafs, for example. They were outplayed by Vancouver. They scored 2 goals in 11 seconds. They did the exact same thing to Montreal. Montreal was dominating out of the gate. The Leafs score a couple goals. They win games. Like, things are different now. They're shooting the puck. They're not screwing around. And they've been very fortunate, but as you say, water finds its level a lot of the time. So you know what? Teams with puck luck, maybe they get it early. Things are going to change in this season, and there's a few games on the board I think we can attack.
Yeah, well, we got loads of them, so let's go. Edmonton, Montreal. Montreal coming off a loss to the Leafs, but you get the back-to-back nature of this. Is the number too high? Montreal $1.45, total 6.5.
No, it's not. I will take Montreal over Edmonton any day of the week. People think Edmonton's playing better. Why? What? Because you beat Ottawa? Big deal. Montreal, on the other hand, is still a good hockey team. Claude Julien called these guys out. They should have beat Toronto. Edmonton will not play with Montreal. Montreal will expose Edmonton. I think anything under like 55 cents, I would put. I got to put it in parlays. I like the Canadiens over the Oilers. I still think the Oilers are fraudulent. Sure, they had a couple big wins against bottom feeders. They're not a good team. Calgary came back against them. They're so bad in their own end, and the goaltending's not that good. So I got to go with Montreal. And I will say this: Carey Price started the other night. Jake Allen has been the better goalie this year. I actually like
Jake Allen is 4-1, 181
That's
goals
what I'm
against.
Talking about, brother.
It's Allen versus Smith, but it is back-to-back nights. And Edmonton.
I couldn't care less about back-to-back nights struggling, Brian. I'm going with the Montreal Canadiens. It's in parlays. They're going to win this game, and get it now before the juice hits 50 cents. I'm with Montreal.
All right, Pittsburgh and the Islanders. Basically, it's a pick. The bottom line is here now. Ron Hextall and Brian Burke. My God, did Pittsburgh drop the gloves in the morning, skate and fight each other?
I don't understand the hirings.
Well,
to be honest.
All right. Well, we'll see if it's a wake-up call. I don't know. And, Bob McKenzie's reporting last night that prior to these two guys coming in, and this was low-hanging fruit, we talked about all of season long, that, boy, if Fleury was going to move somewhere and he had no trade contract or no move in his contract, the one place he'd want to go would be Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh recently, on 2 different occasions, with Rutherford and the interim guy, reaching out to Vegas trying to get Fleury in Vegas is like, yeah, thanks, it's not happening, which is funny because Vegas was trying to give Fleury away in the offseason. Now it's a different story. But what does that do to Yari? And I what do you call it? I like the Islanders.
So do I. I like the Islanders. I don't think the moves mean anything. You know, Burke was working with Sportsnet, and, you know, I guess he still tapped into the game, but really, like, there's probably some guys you probably could have hired instead. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I think the Islanders are really started to figure it out. The last game they've been off too, and they beat the Rangers 2-0. They've looked really good, played their old defensive style. So yeah, it's the Islanders for me. I think they will beat Pittsburgh. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I know the total is low in this game, but the Islanders are kind of reverting back to the way Trotz wants them to play, score a goal and suffocate them like a pylon. I'm not sure if we're going to get 6 goals in this game, not touching the total, but I will touch the side. Give me the Islanders.
Steering clear a little bit, but Tampa, Florida, the bottom line is Tampa bucks 60, 65 on the road. Total is mixed bag, actually, 5.5s and 6s. If I had to lean one way, Cam, I would probably be taking a peek at the over in the game. You get Vasilevsky and Bob going at it.
Yeah, I would lean over as well. Tampa Bay feels good coming off a win against Nashville 6-1. I think, could they be sneaky? I don't love Tampa Bay as much as I should. Like, it's just one of those games that, yeah, if I bet it, I play the total. I don't love this game.
Let me ask you something. Are we, honestly, you would think we should be going nuts about this game when you sit there and go, the Lightning are 9-1-1 and the Panthers are 7-1-2. Both teams only with one loss, yet we don't ever give, the Panthers, much of a yap or too much credit. I mean, pretty impressive start for them.
Yeah.
And they had to mess around with all the COVID crap.
Yeah. They've also beaten Detroit a million times. Like, their schedule's been a joke out of the gate, right? When they start playing some real teams like Tampa, we'll get to see what happens. So that's why I think caution in this game. Like, I want to take Florida at a price to see if they can, play well against a superior club. But I'm gonna say no to that game. There's a lot of stuff, big cards, so we don't have to bet every game.
Well, I know, and the one thing I would say, like, in a normal year, I take a mallet to the President's Trophy. Now the President's Trophy is going to have a mask on it. Honestly, Tampa Bay, they're just, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, how do these guys, continually get up for games?
Well, the thing was, I saw the interview. Can you believe this city? So they got the champion.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, the city of champions. And that's what Stamkos said. I actually when I was watching the Nashville game, he goes, you don't think Tom Brady and those guys inspired us? They did. We win a Stanley Cup. They win a title. The Rays go to the World Series. Tampa Bay's the city of champions. So, and athletes hang with each other and stuff, and they can inspire people. I can't believe the city of Tampa Bay, out of all their professional sports teams, have 2 wins and a World Series runner-up. Unbelievable stuff. But
it's amazing. That happens a lot.
It does.
It happens. I don't know why. All right, maybe, Cam, I get a funny feeling. I know you pretty good. Ottawa's at Winnipeg. Winnipeg's not a $2 favorite over anybody.
I agree.
Total is 6.5. And Ottawa, even though the results aren't there, have you at least noticed this, Cam? There's some bite to their game.
Yes, they're playing better.
Stutzla's starting to really,
I agree.
Well, he's been good from day one.
He has.
But I look for one little thing in there that means something to me. I'm telling you, the Branson dropped the gloves. I don't know if you saw that fight with Cassian.
Yeah, I did. I liked it.
Neither one of them connected, but this Branson's a bad man. He was trying to literally rock him. Remember, I'm older than you. Did they have the game Rock'em Sock'em Robots?
Of course they did. Yes, they did, Brian.
I'm older than you.
16 years old, dude. I'm almost 50. Yeah, I know Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
I'm throwing you a bone. I'm throwing you a bone.
Settle down there, smokestack.
I'm falling on the old guy's sword. What do you want? I threw you a bone there. That was like a.
You don't have to throw me a bone. Let's just call it out. We're the senior ginger bears, right? We're getting older. Yeah.
Cam, listen, there are stages in life, right? Remember when you're in your mid-20s and you get all pissed when you'd go to a bar and they'd card you? You're like,
yeah.
But there comes a moment when you realize you're getting long in the tooth, and they start to card you or whatever. You're like, it turns into a compliment, like
It does. No, I used to get beer from my buddies because I've always been a Sasquatch, right? Me and my buddy Sean Fillerup. This guy used to that was really his name, too. Sean Fillerup.
Oh my
God! This guy used to roll in with like a Budweiser tank top and a fur coat in the back. They're like, "What do you guys need?" We're like, "Hey, we're 16, 17 rolling in. Like we got served all the time." I've always looked older. Oh, this guy was he was very hairy, and it really worked at the Brewers retail. Let's just put it that way. As for this game,
Ottawa, they're live. I think they're live.
I think Ottawa can be live. I'm not sure if we're going to take them. I might split up this bet. I think I'm going to take them at a plus 1.5 in a parlay, and I'm also going to probably take them in regulation and money line. This is what I do, Brian, just like tips for the guys. Like a perfect example was last night again, and I'm telling you, this is working. These games are tight. I have the Rangers parlayed with some other stuff in the NBA at plus 1.5, and it won. They ended up losing in overtime in that game, and I told you I'm sick and tired of those heartbreaking losses. Despite a team winning, they don't get it done. So I try to take 2-game parlays, mixed leagues into plus money, and then we get it done. And that's the way I look at this. Ottawa, if they lose, I think they lose a heartbreaker in overtime.
Okay. So you just made my point. I was going to ask you. You came up last week. You're talking about the plus 1.5, blah blah. And okay, ways to attack this. Is this not a good idea? If you think Ottawa is in this game, and like you said, and then they lose a heartbreaker, they're plus $1.75 in the game. They're plus $1.50 in the first period, Cam. If you get the big barking dog and you think they're live, that means they're giving these guys all they can handle. Maybe they jump out to a lead.
Yep.
And then over 60 minutes, the other team, comes back and ties it and then wins it in a shootout. But if you think the big dog, it's one of those spots where the big dog is really live, are you not smart? Aren't we not smart to shorten the game, that they get off to a good start? And, are you getting a free roll? If it's tied after one, so be it. But you take them in the first period.
Yeah, I like that play too. I do. Yeah, it's one of those things you take the dog in the first period too. Sometimes it lasts the whole game, but they usually come out of the gate hot. That's a good tip too. So this is the thing. We're going to diversify the way we do things in our portfolios, and the plus 1.5s have been saving me a lot of the time in these parlays because hockey's a real tight game, and I agree. If you really, really like a dog, they'll probably come out early in the game and, maybe score a couple goals, get a lead. And I think that's a great way to attack it.
You know what? I can't stand doing stuff like this, but it's about making money. But I'm going to do that now. I'm going to make a little footnote of teams that are, what do you think, favorites of $2 or higher?
That's a good call. We'll start at $2.
$2 or higher. Let's track the next 10 to 15 to 20 of them and see what the score is after one.
Okay, that's a good test.
And then compare it to what the result of the game is. And maybe we found something.
I think, no, trust me, the 1.5s are good. Like, the thing about hockey, it can be heartbreaking. Like, you have a team and they're a dog, and then they go to, how many times I've sat there and my shootout, the thing is, I've only gone to the system. My shootout and overtime percentage is under 25%, and I'm sick and tired of that stuff. So if you diversify the portfolio, you take the 1.5 and do all those other things, it makes way more sense. So yeah, let's track it. Let's see how it goes. Next game, Brian, Detroit, Nashville.
Not with your money, but listen, Nashville, goal differential minus 15, Detroit minus 19. Thanks. Next. I don't know. You got anything?
Here's the deal. Nashville got embarrassed by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Their parlay material or minus 1.5 materials, you say, or depending on your book, maybe even a -1 to low juice. Try to find everything you can when you're betting hockey, because it's a different type of sport. You know what I mean? It's not like basketball. You beat a team by 32 or whatever. Most games are, they're 1 or 2 goal games. I think Nashville gives Detroit, they're going to take out a lot of frustration on the Wings. The Wings are still a bad hockey team. Nashville shouldn't be this price, Brian, but in round robins and 2-game parlays, they should get it done. They scored the first goal against Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay just embarrassed them. The only issue I have with Nashville is the goaltending. Pekka Rinne and Yuri Saros have been awful this year. The back end hasn't even been that good. This is finally the year that Nashville's really taking a step back, but they're still a lot better than Detroit.
All right. Listen, Chicago quietly now, they're winning some games, and I just went to look. They lose in a shootout to Carolina. Well, they beat split with Columbus. They beat Carolina, or lost, Carolina in a shootout, then beat Carolina 6-4, then back-to-back 2-1 overtime wins over Dallas. So give them some credit. I mean, the Lankinen kid's been good. Even Subban got a win in the one game. But I'm sorry, I still got to step up and take Columbus in this spot. I
agree. Here's
think
the thing about Chicago, too. Let's call it out for what it is, and it really bothered me. I'm having a really good run the last few days, but that Dallas-Chicago game, they had a goal taken away from goaltender interference. Dallas did in that game. Chicago got a lot of fortunate breaks. Eileen Columbus, Tortorella and Laine had their little disagreement about ice time. I think Columbus is the better team. Chicago's favored. It's Columbus or nothing for me. I don't love the game, but I lean Blue Jackets in this spot.
All right, San Jose, LA. I had San Jose in that. Basically, they're laying 30 cents on the road. I had San Jose in that game the other night, and it was kind of life and death, but they got there. Listen, what do we say? First game of a series, game over, then under.
Are you going to play your theory? So
yeah, I got to come back with the under.
I see a 3-2 game tonight too. I think LA. I like LA. Actually, if you give the total in this spot, I'm on the Kings tonight. I think they lost a heartbreaker the other night. I think the Kings win a 3-2 style game, 3-1. I think the game stays under the number. SJ Sharkey's been pretty good. I got to give them credit. You know, they're grinding, but they get, you know what? They're the over team of the year right now. They score goals and they give up goals. But tonight, I think LA is going to have a desperation to them. I think they play a better defensive game, and I'll take the Kings. Hello, the Kings and the under. Keep digging.
All right, I think you do the exact same thing here. Anaheim, Vegas. Now, the Vegas had the.
We forgot a game, Brian. Carolina, Dallas.
Go. I'm sorry.
I got nothing. I have nothing more to say. People are going to be betting Carolina. I'll be betting Dallas. This team's been snake bitten. I think they get some calls tonight at home. It's a pick 'em. I like the Dallas Stars. Done.
Now you're getting plus a nickel, plus 10 cents. No, and then the same premise on the San Jose LA thing. If I had to go this route, by the way, Anaheim deserved a much better fate in that game the other night. They were down 4-1, and when Miller let a wrist shot in from, it was horrible. I'm like, and then he makes 9 great glove saves. But Anaheim worked Vegas over down low. They actually played a pretty hard-fought game. Their problem is they can't finish. They missed a wide-open net cam. I'm like, how did the guy not put that in? Well, it's going to be Leonard versus, let me double-check, because Gibson was hurt. Let me see, are you getting Miller again? It is Leonard's turn. They're saying Leonard and Gibson. Now, Leonard's been giving up more than Fleury, and I thought the Fleury thing, and it did. He gave up 4 the other night. Leonard's got some pressure on him here because, Fleury's racking him up. I think this is the over back to the under. I think I'd come back with the under tonight off a 5-4 game.
I don't mind it. I'm also going to take a shot with Anaheim, I think, as my dog. I got lucky. Or did I get lucky? No, you actually told me that Anaheim played the game. Yeah, but the plus 1.5 says I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They came all the way back, and that's how I do my parlays to plus money. And they almost won the game. You said they should have. I think Anaheim's a live dog tonight. You're what, plus 90, plus 200? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I think Vegas is going to take a night off sooner or later, and the Ducks, that was a heartbreaking loss for them. I think they probably come back. I think they're in this game. Let's put it that way.
And then Calgary and Vancouver's finally home.
I got something for you.
Calgary's laying $1.45, total 6.
Here's the thing. The whole world, we were on Calgary. It was our biggest play the other night, Brian. We won 3-2 against Winnipeg. Everyone thinks Vancouver, fire Travis Green, get rid of Benning. This team sucks. They're a dumpster fire. That's great. Everyone can get off the train. This is the stop that I get on. I'm taking a shot with the Vancouver Canucks, and if they can't win this game, I don't care, first game back from road trip, whatever. It's the second game. I tell people that's when your first game back, you roll on adrenaline. Second game, hey, you got to pay the cleaning lady. You got to deal with this. Go pick up that, blah, 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 blah. Life gets in these guys' way. The first game, you can play on adrenaline. Second game, life comes at you hard. Give me Vancouver. Give me Vancouver as a dog.
All right, I'll give you a quick flashback. They played their first 4 games on the road, 2 at Edmonton, 2 at Calgary.
Yeah.
They came home, and they were, 1-3?
Yes.
And it was early on, and you're sitting there going, listen, man, they better circle the wagons right out of the gate. What'd they do? They beat Montreal 6-5, and then Montreal torched them the next 2.
You got it.
If you like Vancouver, I think you're right. Tonight's the spot.
Yeah, I'm on Vancouver, as Lisa likes to say. I think and I'll tell you something. This is a message for everybody. If these guys lose this game in an embarrassing fashion to Calgary, quote my words, and you know this, Brian, heads will roll. There'll be guys gone, demoted, and fired. This team has been the biggest disappointment in the league this year. They were great in the bubble. Thatcher Demko stood on his head and almost beat Vegas single-handedly. They have been a train wreck. Their defense is bad. Calgary's still a good team, but you know what? People think it's easy money with Calgary. I don't think it is. Vancouver's going to be – we got to be a little bit contrarian here. Give me the Canucks, and as a dog, I'll take it.
And here's the anomaly of all anomalies. I don't think we'll ever see this again in our lifetime. Arizona has won 3 in a row. St. Louis has lost 3 in a row because they've played each other. Now, here's the deal.
Oh, yeah, that was the best. Remember the night we were taping our podcast? I know. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? I'm on the St. Louis Blues. I'm going to win a huge parlay. They lock me out because I wanted to hedge on Arizona. The locks come on because me and you were taping shows because we're working for a million different people.
And you were ahead. You were ahead in the shootout too.
No, not just that. I told you. I'm done. I have no chance in this game in the shootout. That's why I told you what happened. I lead the shootout and I lose the shootout. As I say, I don't want to deal with shootout losses. I don't want to deal. Overtime loss is one thing. A shootout loss to me is unacceptable. Hence the +1s and the +1.5. That's hockey will break your heart that way. St. Louis. So you're telling me Arizona scores with 0.9 seconds left and I lose in a friggin' exhibition contest? I'm not letting it happen again. Here's the deal. St. Louis comes back and they beat Arizona. Arizona's beaten them 2 times. If St. Louis can't find a way to beat Arizona after those performances, well, they got bigger problems than I thought. Give me the Blues now before the line goes up.
All right, well, so let me real quick. All right, Arizona's won 3 in a row. The irony of all ironies, we talked about Arizona in the first game of that series, and they threw the sink at them and lost. We were all over them that game. You know why? Because we said they had a practice. They had 2 practices before they played that game. Almost won the first. But look what they've done, Cam. They went on a Tootsie Roll. Practice means something. By the way, let's go back for your barking dog tonight. Vegas facilities closed yesterday. Anaheim, a full-fledged practice. Eakin said, we're fine. We're not worried. But all we're doing is going to play the game. Anaheim got a practice in yesterday. Vegas was sitting there all twisted nuts about the COVID stuff.
Perfect. You give me another good angle. I liked Anaheim to begin with. Now I'm going to find more dancing partners with Anaheim. What's the final game
Friday.
we got?
That's
Friday?
it.
Boston
That's it.
Rangers. No, there's Boston and the Rangers.
No, we get
2 games.
No, Friday. We get 2 games.
Yeah, you told me St. Louis, Arizona. We got another game. Boston and the Rangers, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's go to St. Louis, Arizona.
I'm worried about you, Brian. What do you got going on here? Do you need blue blockers or
hey, listen.
Prescriptions?
Hey, let me tell you what's going on here, okay? Spark plug.
Spark plug. No.
Wait,
what's my other nickname? My favorite nickname?
Jingle Nuts.
Jingle Nuts. That's my favorite. Hey, Jingle Nuts, I got something to say. I go, yeah, Jingle Nuts is listening.
Let me tell you how this thing works, okay? I got 11 browsers over. I'm looking up standings. I'm looking up schedules. I'm looking up futures past. I'm doing all this other. You're sitting there belching up a coffee, and you're just answering questions.
That's pretty
accurate. That's what's going on. That's exactly what's going on. So I miss 1 game, and you're throwing me on the tracks. All right, let's reverse the roles.
You miss 2 games. You miss Carolina and Dallas and Boston and the Rangers. No, but who's counting?
Well, at least you're paying attention. I mean,
I am paying. Hey, that's one thing I'm doing. I'm paying attention. Hey, Brian.
Boston and the Rangers.
I was on the Rangers. There's a common theme here. Heartbreaking 1-goal losses, the +1.5s for big dogs. That's the way it works in parlay form. I'm coming back to the Rangers. Boston, hey, I get it. Like, them and the Leafs are hot. They're just winning. They don't even have to play their best hockey. They're winning. It doesn't last forever. The Rangers, they're getting their act together, right? They take these guys to overtime. And, you saw the video of Tuukka Rask. Doesn't even know what the score is.
What the hell was that?
No, dude, I've interviewed the Boston Bruins when I did my journey to the Cup. They're the weirdest team in the league. Like, they have some real interesting characters on that team. Like, Tuukka Rask will make the best saves in the world, and sometimes his head's in the clouds. Like, he's a different cat. Let's call it out for what it is. Well, but I like the Rangers in that spot.
They asked Cassidy after the game. He leaves the net. A tie game late in the game. He leaves the net thinking they're down a goal. But they said, well, no, they thought maybe there was a delayed penalty, so he went to the bench, and there was no delayed penalty. And then Rask comes up after the game and goes, oh, no, I thought we were behind by a goal. I'm like, do they not teach math in Finland?
Exactly. Yeah. Too much Finlandia over the break, right? But no, it was weird. And know what I love about like any other sport, a guy would lie. The hockey player actually makes himself look worse. I didn't know what score it was.
He's too dumb
really?
to lie.
Hey, buddy, there's a scoreboard the size of a house over you with numbers on it telling you the score. But anyway.
All right, let's go. Saturday,
okay,
Gatling gun.
Yep.
All right, we're on to the weekend. All right, Saturday. These are the rematch games. The ones, Ottawa, Winnipeg's a rematch. We'll see how the first game goes. How about this? Vegas at San Jose. They're actually playing in San Jose again now. So
yeah, good for that. That's good.
Vegas first game against San Jose, and they've got some history. Reeves and
I
Kane.
got one game for you, Brian. Like a lot of them, we need to know the results by the time of taping. Like Ottawa, Winnipeg. Say Ottawa beats Winnipeg. Winnipeg will probably come back. Vegas and the Sharks. There's a lot of Tampa and the Lightning. They're all rematch games. But one game I could already tell you, I was wrong. I was wrong about Montreal. I thought it would be a good spot for them against the Leafs. I still think they played better, and the Leafs, they got a lot of puck luck right now, and I'll give them credit. They're playing well, but Montreal will beat them in the rematch game.
Regardless of because they played Toronto and lost. It was a great game, and then Montreal's got to come back and play Edmonton. But in essence, Montreal. See, that's why I'm worried about Montreal tonight. I really am. I mean, I know you're not. It's because you just lost to the Leafs back-to-back nights, and they got the Leafs. It's a sandwich game. I mean, we want the Leafs.
You're right.
I want the Leafs.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not trying to talk you off that one we already did, but I'm with you. I like Montreal in the rematch. Hockey night in Canada too, right? Big deal.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. It's the feature game on Hockey Night in Canada. Like people were jacked about the other game the other night, right? And the Leafs get it done. The Leafs are playing really good hockey. I'll give them credit, but they've also been very fortunate. I thought they were outplayed a couple games against Vancouver, which they won. They have spurts. Basically, they play a game and they have a spurt of like 20, 30 seconds where they score 2 goals and win games. It's wild. It's like puck luck is good for them, but I'll tell you, I think Montreal, that's the spot. You're right. Now you got me concerned about Montreal on the Thursday night card against Edmonton, but I still think they'll get it done.
All right.
I still think they'll get it done.
All right, listen, Saturday, the lion's share of these are rematches. There's one game we're going to talk about, but the lion's share of these are rematches. So the general premise would be look at the first games as a starting point. All right, as a starting point. Look at the results of Thursday night. Consider the team that loses the game Thursday night in the revenge spot. Identify the higher scoring games that are played on Thursday night, and then pick your spots and look for the second game to go under. Those have been the trains of thought.
Sage advice by you. And you know what? You're not going to win them all, but I can tell you one thing. You're going to win way more than when you lose that way. And that first game over, second game under theory is rung true. I will say this, too. What else do we got? Is there anything else?
No, there's one. There's one. Yes. There's one game. Boston plays New York on Friday night and then has to play the Islanders. I mean, it's no travel. You're driving down the road. But Boston's playing the night before. Islanders coming off the shelf. I think the Islanders are starting to get their act together. I love that Cizikas kid. And it's Boston. They're just going to make – they don't care about the back-to-back nights. I don't know how much they should be baking this stuff into the cake. I think I kind of like the Islanders against the Bruins.
I do kind of like the Islanders against Boston. Just one quick thing. The last time these teams played together off the top of my head, it was actually a crazy game. It was on like a holiday. I think it was Martin Luther King Day. I remember the Islanders beat them 1-0. Like there was no goals in the game till like the third period. It was very defensive. So maybe Boston has a little revenge, but there's other teams they hate a lot more than the Islanders. That's for sure. And I do agree with you. I lean Islanders. And I will say this, Brian, whatever happens on the Valentine's Day games on Sunday, there's only 2 games on the list. Colorado rested COVID. They're playing Vegas. I might unload on Colorado against Vegas, but does Vegas get up for this game?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and Vegas have been clowning around in this Pacific Division against the opponents they've been playing. These are the games I think everybody's looking forward to. By the way, first of 4 in a row, Vegas and Colorado. And the thing, this COVID thing, They took a long time to make an announcement yesterday. I'm telling you, this league is so close, Cam, to shutting it down for a week.
I agree with you. No one's listening to me when I'm saying it. You're the only guy who listens.
I thought it was going to be yesterday because this went on and on and on. There's an announcement coming. There's an announcement, and I think it's more dire because here's the real problem: their big party, their big fancy Lake Tahoe parties next week. And you got Philly's got COVID, and now Vegas had a guy with COVID, and that Lake Tahoe thing was ready to blow up. Anyway, but first game, Colorado-Vegas, I think they go nuts. High scoring.
I agree with that.
First game of the year with the two, track meet city.
No, you're right, man. I don't see a lot of defense in that game. Colorado also time. You talked about the practice angle, which has been really true. Remember, we had the Blues the night they practiced against Vegas and they won. It's definitely a great angle. I think Colorado's had that time, and but actually, yeah, I think I like Colorado in that spot in the over. I agree with you 100%.
All right, there you go. So listen, we got you covered through the weekend. When we come back next week, we're going to reintroduce ourselves to the Sabres. Only 6 games.
Sabres, we're back.
They're back. They're back.
We knew you.
They're back. 9 guys are still on the COVID list. So I'm telling you, the big game Monday night is going to be Eichel versus the Islanders.
Yeah, what is it?
I mean,
it's basically on Seinfeld, Brian. Hey, Kruger, my son says your company sucks or stinks. Was that like Ralph Kruger? How's COVID doing with Ralphie boy?
Not the poll.
I love Festivus. I think we should all celebrate it. I think it's a truer celebration point than Christmas. I think we should all do that.
But I love Kruger and Seinfeld.
Oh, he's my guy. Hey, Kruger, my son says your company stinks. Jay Buda.
Here's your Christmas present, Christmas card. You're going to donate in your name to the Human Fund. Okay, whatever.
That guy's classic. Well, let's hit some winners, buddy, and we'll see what happens. COVID's the dark cloud lingering over the league. They're getting through it, but let's just say this: there's no more screw ups. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're walking a thin line, so. We don't want to be dealing with percentage points down the line and all this other crap. So hopefully it clears up, right? That would be great.
All right, this is it. We're ending this. Now, here's how we're going to do this. We got to clean up the endings of this thing. Just tell folks, go to the hockeybettingpodcast.ca, sign up at the books, great introductory offers, play hockey along with us. There you go. We got you covered through the weekend. We'll be back with you next week. And to officially wrap it up, Cam? Hey, that was professional.
It was better than our last one.
Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. Hey, we hope you like what you're hearing. And if you do, hit the subscribe button and give us a review, give us a rating. Most importantly, enjoy the hockey and keep coming back to the Hockey Betting Podcast.
The handicapping and sports odds information contained on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm the wagering regulations in your jurisdiction as they vary from state to state, province to province, and country to country. Using this information to contravene any law or statute is prohibited. The podcast is not associated with, nor is it endorsed by any professional or collegiate league, association, or team. This podcast does not target and is not intended for an audience under the age of 18. If you think that you have a gambling addiction, stop this podcast now and please seek help.
Gambling and betting on sports is a form of entertainment and should be about having a good time. But when done excessively, it may negatively affect other areas of a person's life, such as their physical and mental health, school or work performance, finances, and or interpersonal relationships. At the Hockey Betting Podcast, we're concerned about the addiction that gambling may cause, and for this reason, we encourage everyone to practice responsible gambling, an approach to gambling that helps you ensure that it remains an enjoyable activity. Here are the main principles of responsible gambling. Don't think of gambling as a way to make money. Always gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Set limits and stick to them. Never chase losses. Don't gamble when you're depressed or upset, and create a healthy balance. Always be aware of how much time you spend gambling or thinking about gambling. And do not allow gambling to cause you to miss out on time with family and friends or time spent on other activities you enjoy. By following these guidelines, gambling can be a good time and great entertainment. If you feel at any time that your gambling is taking away from important areas of your life, is causing you stress or depression, or is leading to financial losses that are beyond your control, please reach out for help. Learn more at responsiblegambling.org.